We will rest upon the ground and look at all the bugs we found. Safely walk to school without a sound. Safely walk to school without a sound. We are here, no one else. We walk to school all by ourselves. There's dirt on our uniforms from chasing all the ants and worms. We clean up and now it's time to learn. We clean up and now it's time to learn. Numbers, letters, learn to spell. Nouns in books and show and tell. Playtime, we will throw the ball. Back to class, through the hall. Teacher marks our hide against the wall. Teacher marks our hide against the wall. And we don't notice any time pass. We don't notice anything. We sit side by side in every class. Teacher thinks that I sound funny, but she likes the way you sing. Tonight I'll dream while I'm in bed, when silly thoughts go through my head about the bugs and alphabet. And when I wake tomorrow I'll bet that you and I will walk together again. I can tell that we are gonna be friends. Yes, I can tell that we are gonna be friends.
Good morning. And welcome. With love at the center of all that we do, we are the Unitarian Universalist Church of Buffalo, and we are happy to be together, both in this sanctuary and on YouTube. We strive to make the world a better place for all, while exploring the great mysteries of this journey of life. No matter where you come from, how you identify, whomever you love, this church is a safe place, and you're welcome here as you are. My name is Meisha Scheibele, and I am a member of the Worship Associate team here at UUCB. We are blessed to be in this space of worship and acknowledge the land upon which our church rests is the traditional territory of the Haudenosaunee people. The Haudenosaunee is a Native American confederation consisting of 6 different tribes: the Mohawk, the Oneida, Onondaga, Cayuga, Seneca, and Tuscarora. The Confederacy was created for these 6 tribes to unite and work together toward common goals and common defense against outside threats, and is believed to be the oldest participatory democracy in the world. We're grateful for the music program under the leadership of Dr. Jesse Downs that enhances our services, and we'd be remiss if we didn't acknowledge the valuable contributions of our tech team, who share their talents to create a visual and sound experience that expands participation in our gatherings. Now, a few announcements. There's a couple in the bulletin, but we've got some more. As you'll see in the bulletin, the church is in desperate need of a bookkeeper. This is a half-time position. Please contact Jen in our office if you know of anyone who can help. There is a grief group meeting today after church at noon in the Gardner Room, which is next to the kitchen. On next Saturday, this is an exciting one, January 18th, instead of the January casual concert, UUCB will host the world premiere screening of Alex Huddleston's new documentary series, Unitarian Universalist Church of Buffalo, A Home for All. The event will take place from 5 to 6 p.m., followed by a Q&A with the filmmaker, during which light refreshments will be served. In addition to showcasing our church's ministry, our outreach, our rich history and diversity of thought, this 4-part series features an original score composed by a good friend of the UUCB music ministry, Zane Merritt. We also have a new UU Celebrations Team. You'll see a green sheet inside of your bulletins. They are partnering with our food ministry to celebrate our UUCB community. So stop by their table in the parish hall. You'll see a big, beautiful sign towards the windows after services to learn more and sign up to help. And volunteers are needed for the memorial for our dear longtime member, Doug Sherman, on Saturday, February 1st. There will be no heavy lifting and no cooking involved, so this is something even I could do. Please see Nancy Williams or Lucy Sloan. They will be in the parish hall after services, and if you miss them there, their contact information is in your bulletins. It's important to make this a special celebration of Doug's life. Now, let's take a moment to deepen our connections with old friends and create connections with new ones by greeting our neighbors. And if you're more comfortable sitting quietly and listening to the happy buzz, that's okay too. Some people think you give it too long, so.
Good morning. If I had had time, I'd be running back to that corner back there where we have 4 babies. 3 9-month-old and 1 7-month-old, and are they beautiful? So next Sunday you'll know where they sit. Oh, it's good to be together again after the holiday time, and yeah, it's been a really difficult week, hasn't it? Watching the fires burn in California. So I chose these opening words from Kathleen McTeague. You who are brokenhearted, who woke today with the winds of despair whistling through your mind, come in. You who are brave but wounded, limping through life and hurting with every step, come in. You who are fearful, who live with shadows hovering over your shoulders, come in. This place is sanctuary, and it is for you. You who are filled with happiness, whose abundance overflows, come in. And you who walk in the world with lightness and grace, who awoke this morning with strength and hope, you who have everything to give, come in. This place is your calling, a riverbank to channel the sweet waters of your life, the place where you are called by the world's need. Here we offer in love. Here we receive in gratitude. Here we make a circle from great gifts of breath, attention, and purpose. Come in.
Please rise as you are willing and able, and recite the chalice lighting. with me. We gather in loving community, inspiring one another to transform ourselves, to create a more just and compassionate world. Now join me in singing hymn 1003 in the turquoise books. Where do we come from?
So just a little note about this before we start. Each line of this hymn is repeated, so we sing it once and then we go back and sing it again. And you can either sing through it, sort of sing down this way, or we're going to be stacking the parts as we go along. So Helen will sing the first line, I'll sing the second line, Sean will sing the third line, and then Michael will sing the fourth line. So you can either just sing it all the lines in order, or you can kind of join as we join in. So here we go.
Now it's time for our story for all ages. The young and the young at heart can come forward to hear the story this morning. It's called Be a Maker. Good morning. So this book is called Be a Maker by Cathy Howes. Ask yourself this question in the morning when you wake in a world of possibilities. Today, what will you make? Make a tower. Make it tall. Make it balance, wobble, and fall. Make a mess. Or make instead a universe inside your head. Make a rhythm, drum and pound. Ears make out another sound. Make a telescope from toys. See what's making all that noise. Make a blueprint. Make some more. Cover desk and wall and floor. That's what my living room looks like. Make your way to play outside. Make a spaceship. Take a ride. Make a map to journey's end, and on the way, you make a friend. Make a snack and make a spare. Make enough for both to share. Make a plan and make a sign, and have your neighbors make a line. Make a gift of what you made. Make a smile from lemonade. Make a pledge to help some more. Make a floor, a wall, a door. Make a difference. Shine a light. Make your town a team tonight. Ask yourself this question as the sun begins to fade in a day of making choices. Are you proud of what you made? What will you make? Oh, my goodness, a princess. Hello. So what was your favorite part of that story? What will you make? What will you make when you wake up? Are you a princess? Okay, we have a few princesses here in this room. What would you make?
The part where they built the playground.
Yeah, that was really cool, wasn't it? Because that was a project by the neighborhood, and that a lot of people will enjoy that. I did too. Well, thank you for listening. Oh, here comes another one. Well, I think we're singing you to your classes, correct? Thank you for listening.
Each week, we take a good portion of our Sunday morning offering and give it away to a social justice cause outside our church walls. This month, our Share the Plate recipient is Fostering Greatness, a Western New York nonprofit organization dedicated to empowering foster care youth, young adults, and alumni through comprehensive support in life skills, education, career advancement, leadership, and health management to foster resilience and long-term success. You can donate in several ways: cash, checks, recurring donations through your bank, electronic transfer options found on the church website at buffalouu.org. The end result is the same. We give to these causes to support the values of our faith. Give generously as you can so that we can live into those values.
Some other folks might be a little smarter than I am, bigger and stronger too, maybe, but none of them will ever love you the way I do, just me and you, Lord. And as the years go by, our friendship will never die. You're gonna see it's our destiny. You got a friend in me. Yeah, you got a friend in me. Yeah, you've got a friend in me.
We pause this morning from the chaos of the world to reclaim the beauty within these walls that carry us through our week. This morning we hold in our hearts all who are suffering in California from the fires, and those of us who have friends and family in California who have lost homes. I have two friends who's lost homes, who have lost their homes completely in California. And so what I'd like to do is I don't know if you remember the song that we sang before, We Are Sending You Light. Sean's going to lead us in that.
Yes, the words are, I am sending you light to heal you, to hold you. I am sending you light to hold you in love. So I'll sing it, and then you can join in. I am sending you light to heal you, to hold you. I am sending you light to hold you in love. I am sending you light to heal you, to hold you. I am sending you light to hold you in love. I am sending you light to heal you, to hold you. I am sending you light to hold you in love.
This prayer is by Lynn Cox. Spirit of life and love, known by many names and yet fully known by none, we give thanks for this time and this place of renewal. We give thanks for the ability to begin again after the disaster, after the tragedy, after the loss, after meeting the challenges set before us. Grant us the courage to continue on the journey, the courage to speak up for the well-being of others and ourselves and the planet. May we forgive each other when our courage falls short, and may we try again. Grant us hearts to love boldly, to embody our faith and values in living words and deeds. May we be open to embrace humility, grace, and reconciliation. Spirit of life and truth, work its transformation upon us and within us. Grant us the spirit of hospitality, the willingness to sustain a fit dwelling place for the holy that resides in all beings. And grant us a sense of peace, of being at peace in the world, even as we are in motion. Let us cultivate the strength to welcome every kind of gift and all manner of ways to be together on this journey. To this we add the silent prayers of our hearts. And now let us fill this sacred space with the names of loved ones that we hold close in our hearts this morning, some suffering in sorrow, some celebrating in joy. The breath of nature is upon us, and the spirit of life is within us. The community of love surrounds us. So be it, blessed be, and let the church say, Amen.
when the night has come and the land is dark and the moon is the only light we'll see. No, I won't be afraid. Oh, I won't be afraid. Just as long as you stand by me. So darling, darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Oh, stand now. Stand by me. Stand by me. If the sky that we look upon should tumble and fall, or the mountain should crumble to the sea, I won't cry, I won't cry, no, I won't shed a tear, just as long as you stand by me. Darling, darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Oh, stand now. Stand by me. Stand by me.
Okay, this isn't easy when you're still in tears from the sheer beauty of that. Today's reading is a parable about rebuilding or repairing the world. It comes from Robin Sharma's book, The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari, and has been adapted by a man named Jared Dees, who is an educator who specializes in teaching religious education teachers. So he's adapted this for kids. And here is his retelling. A father sat down after a long day's work and wanted to read the newspaper. His son kept bothering him. He wanted to talk and play. The father had enough. He tore out a page of the newspaper with a picture of the world on it, and he ripped it into little pieces. And he then gave the pieces to the boy and told him to put the world back together. It wasn't long before the boy was back. "How did you put the world back together so fast?" asked the father. And the boy explained. There was a photo of a man on the other side of the paper. Once I put the man back together, I was able to put the world back together, too. Dee's interpretation of this story is this. Instead of trying to change the world or leave a lasting legacy, focus on just one person at a time. Start with yourself, then help other individuals as well. The world is too big to fix all at once, but if we put ourselves back together first, we are well on our way to knowing how to heal the world as well.
Ironically, while multiple fires raged and burned cities, communities in Los Angeles, President Jimmy Carter was being laid to rest. He was an environmental activist, and after a lifetime of service, he was honored. He believed that we must adjust to changing times and still hold to our unchanging principles. David Smith for The Guardian wrote this: "When a group of dignitaries and journalists made a rare foray to the roof of the White House, Jimmy Carter had something to show them: 32 solar water heating panels. A generation from now," Carter declared, "this solar heater can either be a curiosity, a museum piece, an example of the road not taken, or it can just be a small part of the greatest and most exciting adventures ever undertaken by the American people." What happened next is the stuff of tragic what-ifs and what might-have-beens. It did become a curiosity, a museum piece, and is certainly an example of the road not taken, said Alice Hill, a senior fellow for energy and environment on the Council of Foreign Relations think tank in Washington. He was prescient that we were at the fork in the road, and we didn't take that road. After a record number of environmental protections instituted by President Carter, he commissioned the Global 2000 report, which warned that large-scale burning oil, coal, and fossil fuels could lead to widespread and pervasive changes in global climate, economic, social, and agricultural patterns. Urging immediate action, the report recommended that industrialized nations agree on the safe maximum level of carbon dioxide released into the atmosphere. Had he been reelected, he may well have been able to enact that. But Reagan shunned the issue, and the fossil fuel industry started spending tens of millions of dollars to sow doubt about climate science. Democrat Al Gore's defeat in the 2000 presidential election doomed America to more wasted opportunities. And Donald Trump dismissed climate change as a Chinese hoax and withdrew the US from the Paris Climate Accord. And so this is where we find ourselves. It is what it is. And who do we choose to be in times like this? We can waste our energy on anger, blame, and despair, or we can choose to be warriors of the human spirit, responding to the needs of our community as they arise with love, compassion, and creativity right here and right now. Clarissa Pinkola Estes wrote, "Ours is not the task of fixing the entire world all at once, but of stretching out to mend the part of the world that is within our reach. Any small, calm thing that one soul can do to help another soul, to assist some portion of this poor, suffering world, will help immensely." Margaret Wheatley is a writer, a teacher, a speaker, and an organizational consultant whose work focuses on training leaders who can step up to guide us in building new systems based on shared values, instead of trying to reform the destructive and corrupted systems that currently threaten life on our planet. I chose to read her book, Who Do We Choose to Be, as the topic for this sermon this morning. But when I began reading it, I was surprised. It wasn't what I expected. Throughout her 50 years of research, her global experience on every continent, her message has evolved. What changed for her is climate change. We can't fix it, but we can choose how to respond and help by creating islands of sanity, sanctuaries of possibility, and becoming warriors for the human spirit with joy as our companion. From the start of reading this book, I experienced every emotion she warned me about in her opening pages. She has come to the conclusion that we are in the age of threat, where forces of harm and destruction that have been set in motion by decades of denial, ignorance, greed, and oppression and indifference cannot be stopped. I threw the book on the floor and went for a walk. So we are actually living in an age of threat, but I want to say that I don't totally agree with her that we are. It was sort of, she's a doomsayer, and I love the parable because I do think, and we've always known this, when we start with one individual and then another and another and another, we spread love that is contagious. I'm still optimistic. Desmond Tutu said, "I'm not optimistic, but I'm hopeful." So she talks about how when people are lost in the wilderness or at sea, they go through several stages of denial. They first refuse to believe that they're even lost. And then, because there are no signs to confirm their map, they become increasingly frantic to find any sign that proves that their map is still relevant. Fear and desperation blind their perception, and they would only notice what would confirm their map, so they're missing information that could help them identify where they are. So Wheatley says, as hard as it is, we must face reality. It is what it is, and let go of our old maps because the world has changed so dramatically. Our old maps are useless. She started writing about hope, which she called an ambush. Hope is an ambush, she said. I threw the book again. She referred to it in an interview with Michael Dowd, the late Michael Dowd, who wrote so many books. He was a UU, actually, as hopium. Hope, I've been preaching about hope ever since I got here, and for the 20 years before. Hope is essential to my own survival. So I was really angry and curious about what she meant. I think hope is a lot like the word God. There are many different meanings to that word for many different people. Hope is the same. So Wheatley quotes Hannah Arendt as she insists that hope is harmful. Arendt said, "It was holding on to hope that rendered so many helpless. It was hope that destroyed humanity by turning people away from the world in front of them. It was hope that prevented people from acting courageously in dark times." So Wheatley is rejecting the kind of hope that leads to disappointment, that has expectations. And she leans into Viktor Vaclav Havel's definition of hope that says we don't hold expectations of success, but instead the conviction that it makes sense regardless of how it turns out. Here's how he wrote it. Either we have hope within us or we don't. It is a dimension of the soul and is not essentially dependent on some particular observation of the world. Hope is an orientation of the spirit, an orientation of the heart. It transcends the world that is immediately experienced and is anchored somewhere beyond its horizons. Hope is definitely not the same as optimism. It is not the conviction that something will turn out well, but certainty that something makes sense regardless of how it turns out. It is hope above all that gives the strength to live and continually try new things. Cathy Wheatley wrote an article in the UU World called Nights Can Be Tough. He told a story about Maya Angelou and James Baldwin. Maya Angelou had turned 40 on April 4th, 1968, and she had planned a big party in Harlem with many of the day's Black intellectual elite among the guests. History had other ideas. Martin Luther King's assassination sent Angelou into weeks-long depression. It was fellow writer James Baldwin who helped dig her out. Angelou recalls Baldwin's assistance in her book, A Song Flung Up to Heaven, where she writes the laughter and ancestral guidance got her through. There was very little serious conversation, she writes. The times were so solemn and the daily news so somber that we snatched mirth from unlikely places and gave servings of it to one another with both hands. I told Jimmy I was glad to laugh. Jimmy said, "We survived slavery." And you know how we survived? We put surviving into our poems and into our songs. We put it in our folk tales. We danced surviving in Congo Square in New Orleans and put it in our pots when we cooked pinto beans. We knew if we wanted to survive, we had better lift our own spirits. And so we laughed whenever we got the chance. And Martin Luther's most famous quote is, "Even if I knew that tomorrow the world would go to pieces, I would still plant my apple tree." So we had better lift our own spirits and others around us. Instead of trying to change the world, as the parable teaches us, focus on one person at a time. If we put ourselves back together first, we will be well on our way to knowing how to heal the world. Wheatley encourages us to create islands of sanity, where we ask the question, in what ways is the world broken today? Instead of focusing on problems, what can we fix about ourselves first? Whose lives and brokenness can we help repair with compassion and love? As I read this book and learned more about what she meant by islands of sanity that are set apart from the destructive dynamics and politics and behaviors that are afflicting people on the mainland, we don't withdraw, we don't seek self-protection, but we commit to creating a community where generosity, creativity, and kindness are the norm. And that is what we expect from each other and offer it easily in return. Although these qualities are natural to the human spirit, our current culture has normalized greed, aggression, and life-destroying behaviors. As I read this book and got further in, I recognized our UU churches are islands of sanity. We are not bound together by beliefs, but by our covenant, which you find at the bottom of your order of service. Our covenant is similar to the agreement for intentional communities for islands of sanity. The role of that community is to nurture the human spirit, awaken generosity, kindness, compassion, and creativity, to form healthy communities, to do the meaningful work. And when we fail, we begin again in love. Wheatley points out that universal solutions for the challenges of poverty, community health, and ecological sustainability have proven woefully insufficient. Most have failed, creating terrible unintended consequences. But what does succeed is engaging communities at a local level, led by life-affirming leaders, people who identify the issues that they care about and get engaged and be creative. Together they develop innovative solutions to the most pressing challenges. Wheatley is convinced that unless we face reality, we will not have the clarity to be able to find those innovative solutions. It is seeing clearly, being free of filters, judgment, and biases, that we can see what is happening. So she founded an institute called the Berkana Institute, where they actually train people to become warriors for the spirit. But their focus is really creating leaders. We have a church full of leaders who are nurturers of the human spirit. But their philosophy is this: relationships are all there is. Healthy change requires respect for and full engagement with people. Community is the most effective locus of change. Whatever the problem, community is the answer. Diversity is a blessing, not a problem. Leaders we need are already here, and so forth. A good sense of humor is an absolute necessity. Someone once said that the prehistoric people must have survived by having their first priority a sense of humor. So, I don't have my watch on, so I don't know what time it is. Berkana's recipe for creating healthy community change is this: combine and stir together gently highly motivated activists, deeply rooted in their communities, in deepening relationships, generously sharing their discoveries, lovingly supporting one another, working as a trans-local community fueled by curiosity and dedication, experimenting with practical theories, steadfast and persevering. I think this describes what Jimmy Carter intended when he created the Carter Center, a non-governmental organization that helps to improve lives by resolving conflicts, advancing democracy, and preventing diseases. Incidences of the guinea worm disease have been reduced from an estimated 3.5 million in 1986 to 7 known cases today. This disease has been eliminated in 17 countries. President Carter, a man of unwavering character and commitment, said, "I have one life and one chance to make it count for something. I'm free to choose that something. That something, the something that I've chosen is my faith. My faith demands that whatever I can, that I do whatever I can, wherever I am, whenever I can, for as long as I can, with whatever I have. I have to try to make a difference." And did he ever? President Jimmy Carter was awarded the 2002 Nobel Peace Prize for his work to find peaceful solutions to international conflicts, to advance democracy and human rights, and to promote economic and social development. Who do you choose to be? I'm sorry to give you a downer kind of sermon, but I want it to be uplifting. Who do you choose to be? Well, I sort of like who you are. Who do I want to be? I want to be Jimmy Carter. I want to be just like him. And I want to use my life, the life I have left, to choose and use my gifts to make a difference. Thank goodness we were alive to witness his example. Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you for modeling how to live and what it means to be fully human. You will be missed, but not forgotten. Please join me in singing hymn number 155, Circle Round for Freedom. extinguish the chalice.
Please say with me, as we extinguish the flame of this chalice, may we carry its light with us into the world in the power of peace, faith, justice, and love. Cathy's sermon inspired me to ask her to let me do a benediction by telling you another story from our good friend Liz James. Please be seated. Many of you may remember Liz. She is the founder of the UU Hysterical Society, and we were lucky enough to have her speaking to us. She did a piece on hope that I carry with me. Liz's story. A few years ago, a friend of mine had made a small but miraculous recovery, a condition that was supposed to be permanently, heart-splittingly awful, relented. "It's good you never gave up hope," a different friend said to me. But I did give up hope. In the early days, hope was a curse that drove my friend through torturous treatment after treatment, a curse that told her kids that accepting her condition and learning to adjust to the new situation was a betrayal of their mother. Hope kept us all living in the future instead of loving what we could in each moment. Giving up hope was an act of loving my friend as she was instead of some image who we might be able to transform her into. It was an act of claiming our present. But hope kept you visiting her, my friend pointed out. No, it didn't. Love kept me visiting her. Not because I thought it would make her better, but because I loved her, whether or not she got better. Sometimes hope stops carrying you on the journey and becomes the stitch in your side that will not let up as you struggle to carry yourself. It becomes the forced twist up of the corners of your mouth when someone chirps, "Are we feeling any better today?" And you really, really aren't. Hope is no Old Testament deity declaring, "Thou shalt have no other gods before me." If you want to cheat on hope and spend the night crying and screaming and eating stale cookies out of the box, you can do that. Sometimes despair is a good thing, for a while. I don't recommend living there. Despair, like hope, is not a good place to set up permanent camp. They are both places in the future. They're maybes. You can be agnostic about hope. You can just refuse to weigh in on the issue. You can decide to just make it through this day, this moment. You can sit in the colors of the fall day and just think about this one day. You can fight for justice and rejoice in every person you reach and cry for every person you can't get to without deciding whether your efforts will be enough. They say you lose hope, like it's a thing that will slip beneath the waves if you aren't clutching it tightly in your raised fist, but that's not how it works. You can give up hope if you want to. When the time comes, it'll find you again. It knows where you live.
Keep on learning. Soldiers, keep on warring. World, keep on turning. 'Cause it won't be too long. Keep on lying while your people keep on dying. 'cause it won't be too long. I'm so darn glad he let me try it again, 'cause my last time on earth I lived a whole world of sin. I'm so glad that I know now what I knew then. Gonna keep on trying till I reach the highest ground. Teachers, keep on teaching. Oh, preachers, keep on preaching. World, keep on turning, 'cause it won't be too long. Oh no. Lovers, keep on loving. Believers, keep on believing. Sleepers, just stop sleeping, 'cause it won't be too long. Oh no. I'm so darn glad he let me try it again, 'cause my last time on earth I lived a whole world of sin. I'm so glad that I know more than I knew then. I'm gonna keep on trying till I reach my highest ground. Till I reach my highest ground. Nobody's gonna bring me down. You better reach your highest ground. Don't let nobody bring you down. I'm gonna reach my highest ground. You're gonna reach your highest ground. We're gonna reach our highest ground.